Hello and welcome back to Sea Wheels. If you're new to the channel, my name's Tim, and as you can tell, we're in a different location this week, and due to a few issues with some flights and a change of location, we're not going to do cruising this week. We're actually going to talk about flight delays. Flight delays. If you travel a lot or even occasionally, it's something you absolutely hate to deal with. It's been a real problem since the COVID pandemic, and we're not going to see an end to it anytime soon, and it's not getting enough media coverage from the mainstream media as seen in the following clip.
We've seen almost a doubling in terms of improvement on-time performance since last year. That is a reflection of all the work that we've done across the ecosystem together with our partner airlines, with agencies, reducing processing time, reducing wait times, and fine-tuning operations with our air carrier partners. And we see the great results that have come from that.
As you can tell by the video clip, this topic isn't getting the coverage it deserves in the media. So this is why we're talking about what can you do in the situation that your flight is canceled or delayed. The first thing to remember, this isn't the airline staff's fault, and it has nothing to do with the airport workers. If it was up to them, the flight wouldn't have been canceled. So be kind to them, because at the end of the day, if you're mean to them or hostile, they're not going to want to go out of their way to help you. Another thing you can do to help deal with flight delays and cancellations is by traveling with only a carry-on. If you check a bag, in the event that a flight is canceled or delayed, it means you could lose your luggage, or you have to end up at the carousel to pick up your bag to transfer it to a different airline, instead of going directly to guest services to deal with the situation head on. But if you have to travel with a checked bag, make sure that all of your essentials like medication, money, passports, all of that sort of thing are in your carry-on, because if your bag does get lost or you don't have access to it, you could find yourself in a bad situation. So let's talk about a few things you can do to potentially avoid flight delays and cancellations altogether. Now keep in mind, if a freak weather event happens, you can't prevent that. That's just nature. But what you can do is book flights early in the morning, because those flights are less likely to be delayed due to the previous flight. You can book direct flights, because direct flights don't rely on a connecting flight, and once you add more flights to the situation, it could cause an issue. If you have to have a connecting flight, make sure you book plenty of time between flights. That way, if the first flight that you're on is canceled or delayed and you have to catch a later one, you still have plenty of time to make your destination, as well as avoid the busier times of year. So if you don't have to travel around major holidays, that'll go a long way in avoiding flight cancellations and delays. Another option to help deal with flight delays and cancellations is booking through a travel agent. If you get on a flight and it gets delayed and you know you're not going to make your connection, you can always let your travel agent know, either through the Wi-Fi, or if you're still on the ground and you have cell signal. That way they know that there's going to be an issue. They can contact the airline and potentially get you booked on a later flight so you can still make your connection. I've personally had this experience where I had a client on a flight. They knew they weren't going to make their connection. I was able to call and have them booked onto a later flight before they even landed, so there was no issues for them to make their connection. Another thing you can do to help prevent flight delays or cancellations is research the flight you want to take. There are plenty of websites out there that track the flight history over the last month or so of what traditionally has happened with that aircraft. And if you know a specific booking has had a history of cancellations or delays, you might want to try a different airport or a different flight just to avoid potential issues. If traditionally it's going to be late, it's probably still going to be late. And here's a few trips if you travel as a disabled person or somebody with a mobility issue, especially if you use a wheelchair. Make sure you sign up for the wheelchair assist for when you arrive to your connecting airport, because if there's a short amount of time you need to go from gate to gate, having a staff member from the airline push you from one gate to the other will usually be faster. And when a staff member is with you, the person at the other gate who is waiting for you knows that you are on the way, and they're more likely to hold that aircraft for you. As well as to make sure you check before you board your first flight, talk to the gate agent, let them know that this is something you need, double check to make sure that is on your file, and if there's any issues, they can always call ahead to the next airport and let them know what's going on. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel and for all you guys have been following. And remember, if you want to be able to travel better, it's as easy as follow me.